everyone, it's Stacy from Seattle Seedling, and today I want to talk to you about seed saving. One of the most important things you need to think about when you're saving seeds is collecting seeds from your best specimen. I'm going to show you today how to save seeds from a tomato, and one of the most important things that I look for when I'm harvesting seeds from a tomato is, one, the first tomato that ripens on the vine, which in Seattle, with such a short growing season for tomatoes, that's very important. So this was one of the very first tomatoes that ripened on the plant, actually in my whole tomato patch. So I snagged this one. You also want to make sure that you're saving seeds from a healthy vine. So I don't want to be saving something from a plant that is diseased or spindly, not very healthy. What I want to plant next year, I want to have a strong plant like I have this year. So you're kind of thinking ahead into the future. Do I want that plant to repeat itself in my yard? And with this tomato, I think the answer is yes. The other thing is you want to make sure that it's really ripe. Trying to save seeds from plants that are too young, you'll end up with green seeds in the plant and those won't germinate. So it's important to make sure that the seed is nice and ripe so that you get some good seeds that will actually germinate the next time. I pulled out some garlic to show you some of the garlic that I harvested. This is heirloom Spanish Roja garlic. And I just pulled out a couple that I'm going to, that I wanted to show you that are my largest cloves. Now, I'm tempted to eat these. I want to eat the very best ones. But what I'm going to do instead is plant each one of these cloves. You know, one clove will become a head of garlic, which is really awesome. But since these are my biggest and best cloves of garlic, I'm going to use these to plant again for my seed saving. Whereas these smaller varieties, I'm still going to eat these, but this one that is quite a bit smaller than this other one, I'm not going to replant this because I would like for my garlic to grow into nice large heads of garlic with really nice plump cloves on it. I have my nice plump tomato. I'm just going to cut a little hole in the top. I have a clean jar that I'm reusing. And I just want to squeeze all that pulp into the jar. Then I want to add some water to this jar. And then I'm going to let this sit for 3 to 5 days, and I'm waiting for this to start to ferment, and you'll notice sort of a white and filmy, moldy film over the top, and that will let me know that I'm ready for step 2. All right, friends, I'm back. It's been a couple days since we started this process, and as you can see, there's a nice moldy part on top here. Basically, the process, the reason that we let that ferment is we're trying to get the seed separated from that gelatinous goo that surrounds the seeds inside the pulp of the tomato. So the fermenting process is a way of trying to separate those two. Normally I would do this over the sink, but since I want to show you, and I am a one-woman show, camera woman plus hostess, I'm doing it over a bowl with a jug of water to show you the process, but way easier over the sink, because basically what we're going to do is use a strainer, and we're going to I'm going to skim off some of this moldy grossness. It really is kind of like scum. It comes off like in one layer. That's very nice. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is try to rinse this with water to get the rest of the scum off of these seeds. If you had the water running and you weren't using this hand to be pouring the water, you could more easily kind of try to remove some of the last bits of pulpy stuff off of those seeds. We don't want any of that pulp stuck to the seeds. good. I'm just going to use my finger to grab some of the large pieces of pulp that obviously are too big to go through the strainer. Got lots of good seeds here, it looks like. So I'm going to give this a final rinse. A little tap to get excess water. And then I just put some newspaper on a baking sheet because I don't have paper towels, since I'm not really a paper towel user, but you could do it on paper towels or on a dish towel. It doesn't really matter. You just need a dry surface where these can dry out. So I'm going to try to get the excess water off of these. I'm going to tap them out onto here. Yep, that looks about right. And then once you've tapped them out, you usually get them kind of in these clumpy bits. I'm just going to spread them out a little bit so that they'll dry more evenly. Okay. Now that they're not so clumped together, they're a little bit more spread apart, I'm going to put this in a dry, warm area where these can dry. And once they're completely dry, then you want to store them. So a pretty surefire way to store seeds are to put them in an envelope, seal them up, make sure you write the date and the variety. Today and right now, the only tomatoes that I have ripe are my Stupis, so I didn't have to worry about labeling different jars, but when I'm saving a variety, I might even put a piece of masking tape over the jar that I'm using with the variety, so I remember that this is Stupis and maybe this is San Marzano. And then when I'm done, I make sure to label the area where I'm having the seeds dry so that I can be sure that I know what seeds I'm going to be planting next year, like buying a seed packet. Before I leave you, I want to leave you with one last seed saving tip. Once those are dry and you have them in your envelope sealed up ready to go, I store my seeds in the refrigerator. One really simple way, to do that is to put it in a mason jar with a lid and they're good to go. Sometimes if I'm buying supplements or something that come with these little moisture remover thingamabobbers, I'll put one of those in the jars for good measure. Also, I found these one time, I think it was at the Container Store or Storable, something like that, but they were these plastic containers, and it had a lid that has a little area where you can put a packet of silicate or whatever, that moisture retaining thing. Comes with a little pouch. So I use these kind of containers with my seeds in them and then put them in a drawer of the crisper that I have dedicated just to seed saving. And I find that they store really well for me. So that is all I have for you for now. I hope that this helped. I hope you'll check out my blog at seattleseedling.com, and you can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/seattleseedling, and also on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @seattleseedling. You can also subscribe to my YouTube video and you'll be the first to get those video uploads before I even put them on the blog. And email me anytime with your questions. I am your garden coach and I am here to help you. I want to answer those questions for you. So I hope you'll also turn in next Monday for more tips on how to make your garden grow. Have a great week, friends. Bye.